crazy happenings going on here. We're going to try to make this work as best we can. We may have some meetings, try to do some live meetups, maybe with the Zoom here. That's the app I'm using to make these videos. That way we can talk. Obviously, email, we can talk back and forth. Real easy to do that. Google Classroom, everything will be posted there. Um, if we have to have individual meetings with you and I just to go over things, that's fine. If we want to have some group discussions, uh, we can approach what platform we're going to use and how we're going to do that if need be, and depending on how long this goes, Lord knows. But whether we get back or not, this is going to be the plan kind of throughout the rest of the year. So just want to go over these things. Some of it's going to be everybody is going to have kind of the same thing, and then I'm going to go individually what I kind of want to divvy up some of these things. And if we get ahead as always, or if something pops up, we can always adjust. We're pretty flexible. The STEM room, I'm going to try to get you some pictures. They were last I was in. The contractors were installing the vent hood and the electric for the Glowforge, so that was exciting. Uh, Mr. Bonham and Geisy were actually running cabling across the high part of the room and working on running electric drops with the cable system for all those tables. We all we also got a quote for the flooring. I talked to some of you about the epoxy flooring with some color chips in it. Going to look real slick. Actually, I think it's going to fit in the budget, and I'm pretty sure it's a go. The last I heard, the glass cabinets are in there. The replacement cabinets for the dented ones are to be delivered this week. Should have been, but Lord knows. But the room is really coming together, and just props and shout out to all you guys for all your hard work, research, and working through that. um, I'll try to get in there if I get a chance. Monday, I know I'm packing some lunches to hand out to the community, so I'll try to get some pictures and get them your way. um, it's come a long way, guys. A lot of you have been here 3 4 years and seen it grow, and be interesting to see the guys that came before you that started with cardboard to where we are now, but we still got to make progress. Okay. So this is going to be the plan. Me and my sarcasm, this is the viral plan going forward. Uh, everyone, okay, what everyone's going to need to be doing is finishing their resume. Okay. That should have been pretty much done. I told you that to be get-go. You're going to be then taking those pieces and parts of the resume and creating basically a portfolio using Google Sites and a website. Now, if you want to use a different platform, that's completely up to you, but I'm going to show you through Google Sites. That way you can take it with you, and it's a little more user friendly, and I'm going to throw out some tutorials on it. But basically, it's set up almost identical to like a Google Slide system. So if you know how to use Google Slides, you're set. This way you can take, if you're going to scholarship or an internship or college or anything in the future, you have a working, visible uh, resume. So many of the things we've done are visual, hands on, and a resume really does not do it justice. So this will allow you to put videos, pictures, update coding, put things that we've done. And then we're going to have Lexi's actually working on this to give us a template for a business card where you can put your name, you'll be able to put your web address, contact information, and then Matthew Gothard did this, put a QR code that takes you straight to that website. So it's going to kind of put everything together. So this is going to be the culminating project that everybody's going to be involved with. So resume, work on the website, and then walking out the door with a business card template. Now, as far as individual projects, we're going to tweak these a little bit just because we're not going to be meeting up, and Lord knows if we're coming back. So this is kind of how I divvied it up. This is up for discussion if we need to tweak these. This is just kind of how looking through where we are and what we need to do, I thought was best. Okay. Mason, and I just want to go over everybody's just so everybody kind of knows what we're doing, and I'll give you a doc with all this. Mason, I want you to continue development of your Stark Tank project. I want you to kind of finalize that, ready for that to go, because who knows if that comes about. But you've come so far, and this goes for the other guys that made the finals. I want you to take this all the way through. Okay. And then you'll see this linked with Drew. I want you to plan and template out the Glowforge display. Remember, we talked about creating kind of a display of this setting does this in cardboard, this in cardboard, or this setting does it, and then the wood. Just some basic templates. uh, how would you lay it out? So kind of give me a grid of material, settings, and what you expect. And then if you guys come back, we can put this together. If not, we're ready to run with it next year. So we have a nice display board of various materials and settings and what it does. Austin, I noticed when I was leaving my room this past Monday, when I was in there, your helmet's in there. So let's scrap that for right now. What I'd like you to do is organize everything with the Yeager project. So you're going to have to get all the drawings, kind of all the feedback, everybody's individual design to how it morphed into a couple designs, into one design, where we are, what we've printed, what has worked, and what yet needs to be done. So basically, just kind of an overall summary of the steps that we've gone through, where we are, what works, what needs to be done still. And pretty much kind of like a template or an instruction manual that we can just hand this off to whoever wants to pick this up if we don't get that opportunity this year. So if you have questions, make sure you talk to me. Ryan, I want you to roll with the weather website. I want you to continue and really put some good effort into that, into a nice professional user friendly website. You still have Ski. You can talk to him. You have his contact information. Work with him and let's get a really nice website for that. I've updated a lot of the weather data. I haven't had a chance the last probably 2 weeks because I got to be at school to download the data. I'll try to do that from the parking lot maybe this week. Um, and then I want you to move forward with planning for the camera feed, how it can be integrated into the website, and then start trying to make some contacts with community. Mr. Hall, how to get it on the school website, WHBC, Canton Rep, even the Cleveland news channels, because they like to flash those. How can we get that to them and get that going? Drew, basically the same as Mason. Want you to take your project through and then work on that template that we talked about. Gavin, finish up that website. Okay, get it rolling. You've done a lot of work on it. Let's finalize it. I want you to finalize kind of the Twitter handle, and let's go ahead and open that Twitter handle up. So once you guys decide, and Gavin, if you want to talk to the other guys about, what you think that, I know you had some ideas for the handle. Uh, let's go ahead and get that rolling. I think it'd be kind of fun to get it rolling here, especially with everybody being home, needs some humor and some insight there. Don't forget that Google form that we set up to collect information from people, we're going to need to send that to any of the current seniors, so you as well as your classmates that have been in STEM. So we need to make sure that we take care of that as well. Keep contemplating ideas for the alumni. I'm talking to some of the alumni how to put that together in a secure fashion to create that network as well. And also kind of brainstorm what we can do maybe as an event yearly or something to kind of reconnect with all the alumni. Jagger, I want the Stark Tank project. You've done a great amount of work on that. You've come a long way with that. So finish that. And I want you to pick one of the AWS, and that goes into your Amazon course, and I'll explain that. That's a certification class, or not class, but options that they threw out to us that opened it up for free. We used to have to pay for this, but they opened it up. I'll share that link with you and I'll show you what it's about. I'm going to talk about that in our Amazon course as well. But I want you to at least choose one of those and grab one of those certifications. D, I want you to finish a creation crate all the way through demoing the force sensor. So you're going to have to log this stuff, um, if you want to set up a Google slide and just, kind of as a daily log, and then work through the coding, building it, and a video of it working. So let's just get it to that point. And also especially since you're going into computer science, I also want you to grab and choose one of those subcategories in that AWS certification that we'll talk about. Logan, I want you to work on your creation crate. I want you, again, pretty much the same thing, but I want you to get through creating a combination lock with the keypad, that project that's in there. If you want to fancy it up, you want to start designing maybe a 3D case for it, how you're going to integrate that. Because my hope is that you take this all the way through next year and create an actual product next year. So I want you to get to that point. Okay. Lexi, you got a lot of little things here. We've talked about most of these. You and I emailed back and forth earlier this week. Um, I believe you have most of this stuff down, but I'd like just kind of go back through it, maybe touch it up. Just a basic tutorial or the resources you have of an introduction to these things. Don't get so complex, getting insane projects, but just the basic user, how to get involved in here. And then your Inkscape. I know you did that for Mrs. Gothard. Just touch that up. Let's make sure we have that we can hand that and pass that on down to future students. The banners, you and I talked about this. I'm working on some connections. We'll try to figure out. You've done a lot of work with designing those banners. We have it in the budget. I want to get those done this year, as well as the just moving forward and decorating the STEM room and then the pennants as well. So we have to make some connections. Not real sold on the guy we talked to. I had high hopes, but we may have to move on. And then just create, and I don't care how you want to do this, if you want to create a live binder, if you want to create just a folder and share the folder, but templates for your banners, your STEM store stuff that you've all created, and most of this you have done. Let's just organize it. All your invoices and things you've done that you've prepped for the STEM store. Um, the business card template is really the only real huge new thing that I need you to finalize and pass on to these guys so they can use that. And then just all the past and present stuff that you've created for the education celebration. So there's, and all this you should be gathering, Lexi, for your resume, for your website, as examples of what you've done and can do. So, okay. I've included these CMU, Carnegie Mellon Robotics, the VEX stuff. If you're interested, they have some interesting kind of simulators and courses that they've opened up, kind of like AWS. If you're interested in that, let me know. But the certifications from Amazon Web Services, uh, phenomenal. I started toying around with a couple of these myself. This is a screenshot I was able to capture. You can see here they have a lot of different ones that you could pick. Maybe you just pick those of you that I asked you to complete one of these cloud computing 101. You have application developers. So some of you that are wanting to do apps, some of you that were interested in cybersecurity, web development. Uh, some of these are pretty intense, but some of them are pretty basic and I think pretty cool stuff that you might get into. And I think it's worth your while. But D and Jagar, that is one thing that I want each one of you to at least take one of these. Okay. The rest of you, it's out there. If you're in Amazon, you can access it with your AWS account. The others, it may be a little tricky if I can get you enrolled or not. But everybody has access to the Carnegie Mellon. I can get you into that one with no problem whatsoever. Okay. Again, it's gonna be trial and error. We're used to running and adjusting on the fly, so we'll just continue doing that. Email me. We'll get in contact. Uh, Try to figure out maybe a more efficient way to kind of keep everybody in the loop of things. I don't know if some kind of forum it would be worthwhile looking at. So I'm looking at options, and just keep a lookout on Classroom, and that's where I'll be posting everything we need. But as always, hope everybody's doing well. I'm going insane. As little social contact as I like, I need a little bit. So, other than a 3-year-old. So, all right. So, if you have any questions, again, just shoot me an email and we'll keep moving forward.